stop. Right there. I need you to answer a question and be honest with yourself. Do you believe that being a good person, being kind, agreeable, always there for others, is the key to a successful and happy life? Do you think that if you're nice enough, loyal enough, generous enough, the world will reward you? That people will see your good heart and treat you with the respect you deserve? What if I told you that belief is a dangerous lie? A fairy tale sold to you to keep you predictable, manageable, and weak. Centuries ago, a man saw through this lie. A man whose name has become synonymous with cunning and realpolitik. Machiavelli. While everyone else was writing about how princes should behave, he was studying how power actually works. He uncovered the hidden truths about human nature that people in power have understood for millennia. Today, I'm going to reveal one of those truths to you. And I'm going to show you the shocking cost of prioritizing being liked over being respected. You will learn why your innate desire to be pleasant is your greatest weakness in a competitive world, and you will learn how to transform that weakness into a formidable weapon. But you have to make a choice. Right now, if you're ready to see the world as it is, and not as you wish it to be, I want you to drop a single word in the comments below. Respect. Let's see who's ready to stop begging for scraps of approval and start commanding real authority. Go ahead, type respect. One, goodness as exposure. We've been taught that kindness is a shield, that it protects us and endears us to others. This is the first and most devastating miscalculation. In reality, unconditional kindness is not a shield, it's a spotlight. It illuminates your position, reveals your patterns, and makes you utterly predictable. Think about the office doormat, the one who always says, yes, who never challenges a bad idea, who absorbs everyone else's work with a smile. Is that person respected? Are they promoted first? No, they are last in line. They are exploited because they have signaled, through their unwavering virtue, that they will not fight back. Or consider the always available friend, the one who cancels their own plans, who is always on call for a crisis, who prioritizes everyone's needs above their own. Do they have the most fulfilling relationships? Or are they the ones whose time and energy are taken for granted? Let me tell you a short story. I knew a manager. Let's call him Mark. Mark was the nicest guy. He never gave critical feedback for fear of hurting feelings. He always approved time off requests, even when it crippled his team's projects. He believed his kindness would build a loyal, high-performing team. When a senior director position opened up, who do you think got it? It wasn't Mark. It was his counterpart, a woman who was direct, held her team to high standards, and was feared more than she was liked. In the moment, Mark was passed over. His team loved him, but leadership saw him as weak, indecisive, and incapable of making the hard choices. This is the psychological mechanism at play. Predictability leads to exploitation. When people know exactly how you will react, that you will always be nice, always be available, always forgive, they have no incentive to treat you well. They can act in their own self-interest without consequence. Machiavelli saw this with brutal clarity. He wrote, "A man who is made a prince by the favor of the people must work to keep them friendly, otherwise he will be ruined." But notice, he said friendly, not that he must be their friend. The goal is to secure their support, not to win a popularity contest. Mark confused the two, and it cost him his promotion. Number 2, the generosity trap. This is where the virtue backfires in the most insidious way. You believe that by being consistently generous with your time, Your energy, your forgiveness, you are building goodwill. You are creating obligation and loyalty. But you are actually creating the exact opposite: entitlement and resentment. There's a psychological concept that explains this perfectly: hedonic adaptation. It's the observed tendency of humans to quickly return to a stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative events. In simple terms, people get used to your goodness. It becomes their new normal. Let's break it down with the rule of 3. The first time you cover for a coworker's mistake, they are grateful. You saved them. The second time, they are thankful. You're a good teammate. By the 10th time, it is expected. It's now your unofficial job. Your constant generosity doesn't make people value you more. It makes them value your generosity less. You have, in effect, created an addiction in others. An addiction to your compliance. And when you inevitably need to cut back or ask for something in return, they don't see someone who has given generously. They see a dealer who has suddenly raised the price. They feel resentment, not reciprocity. You are not building a bank of goodwill. You are devaluing your own currency. Machiavelli warned of this when he spoke of benefits. He argued that benefits should be conferred gradually, so that they may be tasted better. But he also knew that a leader must sometimes be severe. He wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved. For love is preserved by the link of obligation, which, owing to the baseness of men, is broken at every opportunity for their advantage. But fear preserves you by a dread of punishment, which never fails." He's not telling you to be a monster. He's telling you that the link of obligation, born from mere kindness, is fragile. The dread of consequence, however, is a powerful and reliable motivator. Number 3, the perception game. Let's be brutally honest. Society does not care about your inner reality. It does not care about your pure intentions or your good heart. Society cares about appearances. It cares about the signals you broadcast and the perception you manage. This is the critical difference between genuine niceness and strategic image control. Genuine niceness is an inward state that you hope people will notice and reward. Strategic image control is the outward projection of strength, competence, and consequence that you force people to acknowledge. Think of a surgeon. A surgeon causes temporary pain. They cut you open. For the sake of your long-term health, are they being nice in that moment? No. Are they being good? Absolutely. Their action, though painful, is strategic and necessary for a greater outcome. This is not about being fake. This is about being strategic. It's about understanding that timing and audience are everything. You do not show vulnerability to your competitors. You do not reveal your entire hand to your adversaries. You project unwavering strength to those who would test you, and you reveal your humanity and generosity only to your closest, most trusted allies. This brings us to a core Machiavellian principle, often misunderstood. Show strength to enemies, weakness to friends. The simplified version is, it is better to be feared than loved. But the true principle is about control. It is about managing perception to ensure your survival and authority. You must appear formidable to those who might challenge you, so that they never even think of challenging you. This creates peace. This creates stability. This is how you protect the people and projects you truly care about. The nice manager avoids conflict, and his team descends into chaos. The respected manager projects strength, enforces standards, and his team achieves excellence. Number 4, your finite capital. Your energy, your time, your focus, your emotional resilience. These are not infinite resources. They are your capital. And every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are making an investment with a negative return. You are spending your finite capital to make someone else richer in time, energy, or peace of mind. Think of the airplane oxygen mask analogy. The flight attendant instructs you to put on your own mask before assisting others. Why? Because if you run out of oxygen yourself, you are useless to anyone else. You become a liability, not an asset. I learned this the hard way. I used to be the yes man. I used to say yes to every request, every favor, every project. I thought I was building a network. I thought I was being a team player. What I was actually doing was bankrupting myself. My own projects suffered. My energy was constantly depleted. My time was never my own. I was running around trying to keep everyone else's ship afloat while my own was taking on water. Then I understood the brutal equation. Saying yes to everyone else means saying no to yourself. No to your goals. No to your growth. No to your peace. Machiavelli's prince understood that a ruler's first duty is to the state's survival, to its own stability and power. Without that, it can provide for no one. Your first duty is to your own survival and power, not in a greedy, hoarding way, but in a sustainable, strategic way. Self-preservation is not selfish. It is the foundational requirement for being able to preserve and provide for anything or anyone else. You cannot give what you do not have. If you're ready to stop the bleeding of your personal capital, type "My oxygen first" in the comments. Number 5, the gratitude deficit. Here is a truth you need to sear into your mind. Gratitude is temporary. The memory of a favor has a half-life. It decays rapidly, often replaced by a sense of entitlement. Let me describe the pattern. You help a neighbor move. The first time, they are overflowing with thanks. They buy you pizza and beer. They say they owe you one. The second time you help them move a year later, the thanks are a little less effusive. The pizza is cheaper. By the third time, it's just expected. You're the strong neighbor. It's what you do. The favor has transformed from a generous act into an invisible obligation. This isn't because people are inherently evil or malicious. It's a fundamental part of human psychology. We adapt. We normalize. The extraordinary becomes the ordinary. Your constant kindness becomes the baseline. And when you perform at the baseline, you receive no reward. You only face punishment when you deviate below it. The lesson here is not to stop helping people. The lesson is to understand the dynamics of value. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Your time must be scarce to be valuable. Your approval must be scarce to be meaningful. Your help must be selective to be remembered. If you are always available, always agreeing, always helping, you are not being nice. You are announcing to the world that your time, your approval, and your help have little to no value. And people will treat them accordingly. Number 6, the judgment of history. Let's be clear. The world does not judge you by your intentions. It judges you by your outcomes. Your boss doesn't pay you for your good intentions. Your clients don't hire you for your pure heart. Your team doesn't follow you because you're a nice person. They are all motivated by results. Let me ask you a challenging either-or question. In a crisis, would you rather be led by a leader who is universally liked but incompetent, or by a leader who is difficult and demanding but gets results and ensures everyone's survival? The answer is obvious. This is the critical differentiation between a nice person and a good person. A nice person avoids conflict. They prioritize harmony. They want to be liked. A good person creates change. They enforce boundaries. They demand excellence. They want to be effective. Nice people avoid tough conversations. Good people have them because they care about the other person's growth. Nice people let underperformance slide. Good people address it because they care about the team's mission. If your good actions do not create good results, then your good intentions are worthless. They are a story you tell yourself to feel better about your failure. This is the true meaning behind the most misunderstood Machiavellian quote: "The ends justify the means." He wasn't advocating for random cruelty. He was stating a strategic reality. The outcome, the survival and prosperity of the state, is what sanctifies the actions taken to achieve it. A difficult, unpopular decision that saves the company and thousands of jobs is a good decision. A nice decision that avoids short-term conflict but leads the company to bankruptcy is a bad decision, no matter how good the intentions were. Your legacy will be written in the results you create, not the niceness you projected. Number 7, the final lesson. This all connects to one thing: your legacy. How will you be remembered? Will you be remembered as the agreeable, nice person who was always there? Or will you be remembered as the formidable, respected individual who created impact, who changed things, who left a mark on the world? History does not honor those who were merely pleasant. History honors survivors. It honors those who had the strength to make hard choices, to wield power, and to create real, tangible change. Think of Steve Jobs. Was he nicey? By all accounts, often not. He was demanding, difficult, and brutally direct. But was he effective? Did he create impact? Did he change the world? Absolutely. His legacy is not one of universal likability. It is one of undeniable respect. Machiavelli's entire philosophy rests on this central argument. You must survive and be strong first. You must secure your power base. You must ensure your own authority. Only then do you have the platform to be truly, effectively good. Only then can you protect your people, execute your vision, and make a lasting difference. Weakness helps no one. Powerless goodness is a tragedy. It comes down to a final choice. Will you continue to let your desire to be liked weaken you, making you predictable, exploitable, and ultimately ineffective? Or will you master this virtue? Will you learn to wield kindness strategically, to project strength purposefully, and to command the respect that is the true currency of power? Machiavelli ends a chapter in The Prince with this devastatingly simple quote: "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." The men and women you attract by being nice will be users and opportunists. The men and women you attract by being respectable will be allies, warriors, and builders. Choose your path. In a world of wolves, don't be a sheep begging for mercy, and don't be a wolf consumed by predation. Be the shepherd. Command the field. Protect your flock, and direct the pack with intelligence and strategy. The choice is yours.